Give me a moment. Let me turn Pearl Jam off. Stiff hips, stiff shoulders, stiff neck. You may think you have to work on your hips or your shoulders or your neck. What if it's your feet? Yesterday I was coaching youth football and running through some young athletes through some agility drills, and a father came up to me, and I told the father, your son has some good movement patterns. And he said, yes, but I think he still has stiff hips, and that's something we've been working on. Okay, so now I'm thinking, what if the hips relate to the feet? What if you're spending all this time working on freeing up your hips, but your feet are not allowing your hips to rotate appropriately? So no matter how much hip mobility work you do, when your foot lands on the ground and it's, say for example, it's crooked or it's your heel striking, that force is going to go from the foot and it's going to go in this way towards the hip. And the hip is here. So it's going to lock the hip in place. However, if you get your feet underneath you and you straighten your feet up, now the hip might be able to move freely. And this goes all the way up the body, up to the shoulders. Once again, if the feet are crooked or your heel striking, the force goes into the ground, up through the hips into the shoulders, locking the shoulders back in towards the body. So we're stiffening up the shoulders. Now, once again, if we get the feet underneath us and keep the feet straight, we are now going to be able to allow the body to rotate and free up the shoulders and neck. So now we're getting a rotation from the hips and the shoulders, keeping our feet underneath us and straight. So we may be spending so much time working on mobility of what we think is stiff, when really it needs to work from the ground up. We need to start with the feet. Does this make sense to anybody? This is going to take some time to introduce and spread through the industry. Because like I was, and probably like you are, I'm feeling stiffness somewhere and I'm working in that area instead of working on where we're making contact in the ground. Okay? Now we take the body, we put it in a pool, and we start to swim in a pool. There's no ground contact. So we're able to rotate and do figure eights, and this is where we'll probably see that we're freeing up our hips and our shoulders. We probably feel good in the pool because there is no point of contact on the ground. The moment we touch the ground, everything changes. For good or for worse. Start to take notice of your point of contact in the ground. And then work your way up. Okay? And then once you work your way up through the spine to the head, now you can work your way back down. Okay, my feet are straight, my feet are underneath me. Now we can start to think about getting our head over our foot as we walk or as we run, so that we spiral down, put force through the ground, spiral back up, and then spiral back down. An interesting concept to think about. But it does need to start from the ground up. Earn the ability to put head over foot, shoulder figure eight rotation, hip figure eight rotation, spiraling through the ground. That's all I got for today. Let me know what you think.